Welcome to another live tarot chat. I will be hosting a live tarot chat every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central during the course of this 45-day Reconnect with Your Inner Guidance Tarot Challenge. And today is day 17. I'm pretty sure it's day 17 today. So if you are new to the challenge, you can check the playlist that is on my YouTube channel, and you can do this challenge at any time. Um, and it's really a daily prompt that you can use to pull a card. And the whole intention is to help reconnect and strengthen your intuition and your connection to your inner voice. So I if you are new to the challenge, let me know. And if you think it's something that other people would benefit from, be sure to share this video. And I have a whole playlist that is dedicated to this challenge. So everything that you need to know is located in that playlist. You can also click in the link in the description of any of the videos, and you will also see a tarot challenge prep guide that will give you more information. So, the whole point of the live tarot chat is to talk about our experiences during the past 7 days, or even just in general with the challenge so far. And if you have any questions, you can post those questions in the comments. You can also join me live. Let me post this invite link while I'm thinking about it. And let me open up another window. So if you have questions, you can let me know, and then I can post this. You can join me live on video if you want to. It's totally optional. Just need to find this video on my channel, and we go from there. So once I post this, all right, let me do this now. Okay, and I'll pin that at the top. Okay, so that message is pinned at the top. The link, if you want to join me live to ask your question or share an experience, but that is totally optional. You can always use the comments. So let's talk about what the past few days have been. Greetings, how are you? You early today? Yes, I am early. I popped in here earlier than I usually do because I'm going to have to end earlier because I actually have some tarot readings to do today. I have an event that I'm doing readings for, and for those of you that are in the tarot group, you will get some behind the scenes footage on that. So yeah, I wanted to pop in here earlier than I normally do. Let me know, Queen of Mankind, aka Anita. Let me know what has your experience been during the past with this challenge, and the theme for this week. So this week the theme has been being fully present. Last week we were dealing with emotional blockages. Let me know if there was any particular prompt that had you stuck, that you found challenging, or if there was anything where you had a really big aha moment. Let me know what that was like for you. And if you want to join me live, you can do that by clicking the pinned link if you would prefer to talk through video versus typing everything, because I know that could be a whole thing. Hey, Ujo. I'm in Texas. Oh, you're in Texas and had no power for 3 days and a busted pipe. Oh, my goodness. I'm good. Water and power is back on. I am 3 days behind. Oh, well, first, sending good vibes your way, because I've been hearing about just the issues in Texas with the power. It's been crazy. I am glad that you are good. Thank you for checking in. And it is perfectly fine that you are 3 days behind. You know, this challenge, one of the benefits of this challenge is you can always pick up and catch up on the weekend. Um, you can start this challenge at any time. You know, you can kind of batch batch the prompts together and do a bulk of the prompts at the same time. So use this weekend to catch up when you have an opportunity. And all the videos are located in the playlist of my YouTube channel. So you will be good to go. But thank you for tuning in today. Today's prompt had me in my feelings. So today's prompt is which card best represents my current state of mind? So yeah, that's a good one. And it's one, you know, when it comes to being fully present, this is something where, you know, I did a book. I was doing a book review with my clients. This was last year, and we were doing an ongoing book review, and we were reading The Power of Now. If you've never read that book, I highly recommend it. But it was a very extensive book review process, and you know, it talks about being present. It talks about being in the now, and that's what this prompt is about, right? Like being, like how you connect, and you know, when it comes to your mindset, when it comes to you know, just where you, like how you even navigate, how you even connect mentally when you are really tuning in and being fully present. This is where all the stuff, now you start to kind of focus all your thoughts. You kind of get clear, and you also see the things that are distracting you. It's a great way to observe your thoughts and your mind. Hey, Wanda. I responded to your comment in today's prompt. So let me know if you have questions based on that response, or if you want to join me live on video to discuss kind of how to apply the things that you've been experiencing, or like what you've been learning. Then we can talk about that either live on video with the pinned, just click on the pinned comment, the pinned link, or you can just post a message here in the comments. Me for moving forward. Yes, you know, the moving forward part, the moving forward part. That is one of the biggest things when it comes to being really present with what's going on, right? One of the intentions behind this theme is when you are present in what's going on, when you are just fully in it, now you have to be responsible for what to do next. It's like, oh shit. Now I know things and I'm aware of it. And now I have to like do stuff that I don't want to do really. How do you move forward from that? How do you move on from that? And it can be challenging. So if there's anything in particular that you're stuck with, Anita, let me know when it comes to getting clarity on moving forward. All right, so we have Wanda is joining me on video. So I'm going to bring you on in just a moment here. All right, I'm adding you now, Wanda.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I am doing good. Thank you so much for being a part of this challenge and for joining me live on video today.
Thank you.
So
Thank
let me know what has your experience been so far, and where do you need support?
I'm enjoying the experience. In fact, I did what you suggested. I wrote down all of the cards from this week, the prompt, and put a list down so I could like look at it.
Yeah.
And really review from the beginning, from the last 17 days, and see how things are. And it's so much easier when you have it in front of you.
Yes, it
versus
is.
in a book.
Yeah, yep.
So you're flipping pages. So, but I'm realizing being fully present, I'm not present at all. So
Hmm.
I really see that. And starting the challenge, I was going through it, and I still am going through so much as far as transitioning in a relationship, but it's all my relationships across the board. So it was my career, finance, personal, with my children, with myself. So it's interesting where that plays when it says being fully present, that blockage and that the imbalance, that blockage, that is holding so true across the board in all of my areas.
Hmm.
So, but I didn't get to read what you replied to me yet. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I really want to work on this, and I don't know how to move forward.
Okay, so I'll tell you kind of what I said in the comment. Basically, I was saying, one of the great things with tarot and this challenge is bringing the awareness and the confirmation forward,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And now it's about the step. The first step is to application is deciding, like, what are you willing to change, and then you
Okay.
follow that with action. So let's work through that. So you've mentioned, like, across the board you've been getting a lot of reversals. Things have been, you haven't been present in these things. So the first thing that's coming to mind is, why do you feel this is coming up? What is it that you have been avoiding through
Well,
not being present?
it's interesting because not meaning to go off gear, but the first week you asked a question, the first week that triggered a dream. And I'm not one to dream, like I'm really not a dreamer, but
Mm-hmm.
it came up with my history as to what am I hiding from? So it was the question on the intuition and what are you afraid to feel? But
Mm-hmm.
the dream was that in my past, and I'm still trying to, I'm still trying to absorb all of this and understand everything. But
Mm-hmm.
in my past, I come from a history of mysticism and women that I guess we were more like medicine women, or they referred to us as witches.
Mm-hmm.
And in my past, I watched my mother and my aunt and my sister get killed, actually burnt right in front of my eyes. And the only way that I survived is I did not make my prediction was not the correct prediction. So they thought that I was just this poor little soul that was, being held captive by these bad women. But these bad women were my family. So that whole history part kind of is playing out now. And I see areas of my life where it's like, oh, wow, this is so interesting because my behaviors, the way I act, um, not being honest with myself, keeping tarot woo woo secret, let nobody know what I'm really into in the midst of. So it's all of this is coming to play. So I think that's an underlying root that comes into it. And I'm so excited because I never understood where this blockage is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, it's so new. I'm like, are you making this stuff up? Like, did you just, but one of the things I can say by doing this challenge with you, I understanding that my gift is the internal voice that I didn't listen to. And every day of going through this, I don't know if you remember, I was saying I would shuffle the cards. I would take the cards and put it to my head. I would put it
Mm-hmm.
to my chest. I would put it to my abdomen and repeat the same process. And then it will say, shuffle the deck, pull the third card from the top, the fourth card from here.
Yeah.
Now I shuffle the deck bang, the card comes out. I no longer have to go through that entire process. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm understanding my voice and I'm listening to it, and it's so much stronger. So when I got that message, I'm like, oh wow, I was not expecting that. So I'm blown.
I love it. Like this is perfection. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, because this is exactly why I wanted to do a challenge in this way. Specifically for that, because when you start to exercise that intuition, right? You do start to
Hmm.
unlock memories. That wasn't a dream, that was a memory. I always
Yes.
call them like I'll say dream, but it's a dream experience, right? But a dream
Hmm.
experience from a memory. That's really what it was. And um, it reminds me of experiences and memories that I've had when it comes to, I remember being in the tarot closet and being like, and again going into I created a video about why people struggle with
Hmm.
connecting to their spiritual ability. So if you saw that one, it's like sometimes it's conditioning, and you
Yes.
get stuck there. So doing a challenge in this way is just allowing you to remember. I want to take you back to the memory. So um, the fact that it triggered that memory, that dream experience, it's like, hey, this is where it started. This is the root of the blockage. This is the root of the barrier,
Hmm.
the root of the fear. And through the process, so you getting to that point where following your intuition, because there's no wrong way to shuffle, there's no wrong way to whatever you feel led to do that. And yeah, and over
Hmm.
time, that was just allowing you to remember, like, okay, I need to tap, maybe you needed to tap these particular areas, these centers, right? You have the third
Right.
eye, the heart, the sacral, or the solar, right? You have these areas to kind of, this could also show where those blockages and where those barriers are rooted in, to kind of
Hmm.
open up those portals, open those aspects up. And then even what I'm even seeing is from that experience, like it would make sense that those would be the areas that you need to activate. Because think about, if your family is like killed, if your family is like, if all these things happen, think about what that does to the heart. Think about that does to your confidence. Think about what that does to like your identity of like, everything that I believe is bad.
Right.
Everything I was taught, like, and everything that I was raised like, that's bad, and like that's what's being shown. That's the conditioning. That's the past life conditioning that
Yes.
still shows up in this life. So I feel like it's like you had to tap those areas. It kind of reminded me of tapping, if you're familiar with tapping at all, um, to just activate those areas so you can
Hmm.
remember. So it's like, okay, I'm open now. I'm open. And your relationship with how you shuffle and how you pull cards, that might shift and expand um, throughout your time working with cards. And I know it has been for me. People have asked me, like, how do you shuffle, or how do you know? Sometimes I get jumper cards. Other times I literally get told, like, oh, pull from the middle or pull from the back. So, and that's going to vary from person
Right.
to person as well. So for anybody out there, whether you're taking all the cards and just spreading them out on the table and you're picking one, or if you're scanning, which is something I teach in my mentorship program. And maybe I'll do a separate video on that, on how to scan. But
Okay.
these are things, just other ways that you can um, pull a card. But off just I'm always going to say, follow your intuition, follow whatever's coming up for you, because that's the whole point. I'm going to give you the guidance and kind of give you ways that you can do it, but always follow like with what feels right. This is just like, okay, here's an option and here's an option, and just see kind of what works for you. Because I found for myself that, yeah, like people are saying do it this way, but my way might not be your way. And I want to encourage you all to find your strengths, to empower you to strengthen what you have forgotten was there. So
Hmm.
So yeah, so when it comes to the application, um, start with the why. So you have part of the why. You have why some of this stuff is showing up, right? What are some other
Yes.
reasons? So okay, this is what I'm being shown right here. So you have the why from the root.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the why from what has been sprouted? What is the why that's kind of like in the light? The root stuff is like the deep seated stuff, but how has that been showing up in what fears or hesitations or apprehensions have been showing up for you presently?
Well, like I'll give you my example with my relationship. I never understood how I attract the men that I attract in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I realize is um, I attract a man where I'm still in the main role in the relationship. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
attract a man that doesn't understand finances, but security means everything to me.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're losing money left and right from bad decisions and poor finances and not doing anything, I'm holding on in the back trying to make everything work and feeling totally aggravated and um, angry because I'm always having to fix something that they're doing wrong. I didn't understand that. And the way it's showing up now is I had like a big blow up. Everybody in my family tried to do an intervention and was like, "Mom, you need to leave. You need to do this. You need to do all these different things." And then I jumped the gun and made a decision. But then my heart pulled back and it was like, "But this is not what you really want to do. But then you should do it, but it's not what you really want to do. Are you ready to do it?" And going back and forth, and I've been stuck right there, trying to really come to terms with, am I doing things because I want to do it, or am I doing it because I feel pressured to do it?
That part. That's the part right there. Feeling
Yeah.
the pressure, or feeling like you have to go through the motions, or you have to go with what other people think that you should do, or what anybody that like, oh well, other people in this position would do this, or it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
this is why it's so important to go back to what is spirit telling you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go in, you got to go within, because the mind stuff just keeps you, it's like going to keep you like thinking about other people's thoughts, societal
Mm-hmm.
conditioning. It's going to be all the fears, all the ego stuff, and that's why you can't go into the mind. That's all
Right.
mind stuff. Mhm.
And then I realized I have serious abandonment issues because my fear is if I don't do what my family wants me to do, they'll abandon me.
That makes sense. It goes
And
back to the root.
yes. And but then also understanding the role that a man plays in my life, where the root is, I understood in what it my what the memory showed me was, in our history, if you're a mystical woman and a powerful mystical woman, that I needed the man to play the role to hide me in society. Because in the era that I was in, a powerful woman would stand out. And my goal was not to stand out. My goal was to blend in. Because if I stood out, then the secret would become known of what my powers are.
Yeah, it's
So when I
survival.
understood, yeah. So when I understood that, I was like, oh, I get this. I get why I attract the men that I have in my life, but I also begin to understand the role that I play and not
Mhm.
be so angry, because I'm like, I have this huge responsibility, but I want this fairy tale life where I want the man to be the provider and take care of poor little innocent me. And that's, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but that's the truth. That's the role that I want, but that's not my reality. And I
Yeah,
don't think that's really within my roots of,
right.
if I'm being authentic and true to who I am, that's not the fairy tale role I can play. And this is what I'm learning.
Yes, and you have to start claiming that. You have to start, this is about you. you were using, like, that was your survival. You had to do that to survive in your past
Yeah.
experience, in your past life. And
Mm-hmm.
that is still embedded in your DNA. It's still, and unfortunately still in this day and age, it's still like, a thing of like, oh, well, just to be taken care of, or to be, to have these certain roles. And it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
especially within, oh my goodness, the patriarchal aspects of spirituality, or how that shows up in spirituality. And it's really about, you know um women need to reclaim their power in spirituality and who they
Mm-hmm.
are, because um the it has been taken over. It has been just, oh, and this is a whole nother video. So I can do a whole thing on this, but has been taken over by, like, oh, there has to be this aspect of, this, masculine, because there's a difference with, like, the masculine and feminine aspect and having balance.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this sense of kind of ruling and dominating of
Right.
the man being dominating the woman, versus having a balance of masculine and feminine. And really, this is for you, it's like, you of course you can't be fully present, because you being fully present is you stepping into, you remembering, like, I am powerful, I am
Yeah.
strong, I am capable, I can
Yes.
manifest. I am that I am. Like that part, like remembering that you have everything that you need. And yes, people are going to shun you. Yes, people are going to think you're evil. They're going to think you're a devil worshiper. They're going to think you're Satan. They're going to think all these things that they're going to think, and fuck all of them respectfully, right? Because it's not about,
Mm-hmm.
you just have to realize it is their projection of fear, and what is uncomfortable for them. Just remember that their fear is not about you. This is
Right.
something that I've learned. When you start to step into your power, when you start to build that confidence in your intuition and remembering who you are, and really claiming it and owning it. When you start to do that, yeah, the people that were feeding off of and benefiting off of you staying small, you staying
Mm-hmm.
disempowered, you staying like, you not remembering who you are, you being the small forgotten one, they are going to have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes we enable that. We sometimes There comes a point, and this is part of the decision part, right? Because we've unpacked the why. So the
Yeah.
decision is like, okay, now I know that I need to be fully present in who I am, and remember these aspects, and remember to be the leader that you are,
Right.
right? To be that, and to start to learn who you are in that role. And you can decide to say yes to it. You don't have to know how to do it. And that's another place where people get stuck. It's like, oh, but I don't know how to do
Yes.
that. It's like, no, you don't have to know.
Yes.
The universe, they will guide you. Because trust me, I didn't know what the hell I'm doing. Sometimes I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I just roll with it. It's like, oh, okay. You just have to trust that it's going to show up. But you
Right.
have to say yes to it. So when you decide to say yes, yes, I accept the truth of who I am. I accept my role. I claim my power. That doesn't mean you don't have to know how to use it yet, because you will get shown that. But deciding that you say yes to it that's the first step, right? Now that you know the
Okay.
why, you're saying yes to that next step. And the application is being open and trusting that it's going to reveal itself as it needs to. It's going to flow. It's not like, sometimes it's like, oh, well, if I say yes to this now, I have to, like, get all these books and study, and I have to, like, like, you gotta enroll in classes. It's like, no, it will flow naturally. Spirit will show your spirit, your spirit team, ancestors, angels, whatever your verbiage and your language is for connecting, whoever shows up for you, however it shows up, it will be revealed to you in as it needs to, and as you are able to handle it. You're not going to receive more than you can handle. um and so when you start to build, and this is how this connection starts to show up in the physical. When you say
Okay.
yes and you decide, like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I don't fully, I know that there's this part of me that needs to come forward. I don't even know who she is yet fully, but I feel her. I feel her. I feel, because sometimes it can feel like you are suffocating. It can like literally feel like you are just in this shell and you cannot get out, and you have to break out of the shell. So
Right.
deciding, like, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say yes through the fear. You can't overcome fear. You can only work through it,
Mm-hmm.
and trust the process. Trust that it will come up for you. Trust that you will learn along the way, because the only way that you can become stronger is to just be in it, is to start doing it. And you can't be in it if you don't say yes to it. You can't just be looking
Right.
at it, just be looking in the window shopping. You can't be window shopping for your spiritual growth. You can't.
That's the truth. I tried that. It didn't work.
Yeah. So that is how, those are your next steps. Do you have any questions on
Okay.
that? What are your thoughts so far?
Um, that is good. For a part of me was worried that you was going to say, okay, well, you got to pack your bags and, now you move into, the tundra. I'm like, no, I'm not ready for that. That's too much. And then I felt like there's this part of me that still feels like a phony because I don't have all the answers. So I'm the type of person that if I don't have all the answers, I'm not going to make a move. And this
Mhm.
is the most scariest part because it's unraveling a moment at a time. And I don't have that, magic wand to say, okay, what's going to happen next? I don't know.
I
And
want you
you
to
said
write
a
this
very
down.
important thing.
You got to write this down.
Yes.
Spirit's telling me, write this down. I will
Hmm.
never have all the answers.
Ooh.
That
Okay.
that this your spirit team coming through. They're like, this needs to be your mantra. You need to write this down somewhere. I will never have all the answers.
I am writing it down. Oh gosh.
Mhm. Take notes, people.
That.
Whoever that is speaking for, whether you're watching the replay, whatever, you will never have all the answers ever.
Mm.
But what you will gain when you make a move is you
Hmm.
will gain information through the action that you take. It's not about if it's a wrong action or a right action. It's about, what have I learned from through taking this action? What have I learned from that? Am
Okay.
I learning something that is benefiting me? It's going to benefit you one way or another, because you're going to learn the lesson. You just have to decide to accept it, that this is what I've learned
Right.
from it. But that's where you gain the power, through gaining the information, through taking the action, because spirit meets you where you are. Spirit's going to give you the same amount of energy that you give like it's going to be the same. It's like, oh, you give $1 worth, I'm meeting you that right there. If you're like, universe is going to be like, if you just keep thinking about
Mhm.
it, okay, universe going to just be thinking with you, like, just going to be looking at your thoughts. Okay, we can expand your thoughts, but until you start taking action, we meet you with action. It's a 1-for-1.
Gotcha.
And then the beautiful thing is, it starts off with 1-for-1, and then your one action doubles in two. It's like 1-for-2, and then 1-for-3, because it starts to show up, because your action starts to build momentum. That's when it starts to expand. It starts to multiply in the energy. So a lot of people get stuck there. They get stuck in feeling like they have to have answers. I used to get stuck there, but you
Hmm.
can. You can't.
Right.
Even with me creating this challenge, I was like, I've been wanting to do a challenge for a long time. And I was trying to overthink it. And I was trying to, oh, well, this is what the other people are doing. It's like, no, don't do it. Fuck what other people doing. What is in my
Mhm.
spirit to do? What am I being guided to do? What do I feel that people are needing? What is it that I wanted to see when I was learning tarot, when I was wanting to connect? Like what was that? And then
Right.
it was like, okay, well, everybody's doing these 5 day, 7 day things, and maybe I should do that. It's like, no, no, no. That just was, if I would have done that, it's like, no, you wouldn't have got to this point if it was this was some 5 day challenge.
Not at all. Not at
So,
all.
yeah. And so I had to figure it out. But I had to say yes to it. I had to start it. I had to do it. It's just like, yep. And as you start to do it, then it just starts to show up. It just shows up in the weirdest ways too. Like the answers, the connections, and just the synchronicities. And it will show up in so many different ways, but only because you say yes, only because you take action, only because you start to trust, right? So you have written down, I will
Mhm.
never have all the answers, but
Yes.
also trust that you will be provided what you need. The universe, spirit, you will be provided all that you need. And you can write that down too. Trust that you will always be
Um,
provided what you need. Yes, because that's the other part. You have to trust it. Because if I would have
yes.
started, if I started just using my mind, because when we try to have all the answers, you're in the mind. When you're
Yes.
connecting with your inner guidance, when you're connecting with your intuition, you're moving beyond the mind, because the mind is limiting. And
Mhm.
you can only, so the ego mind is limiting, because you're trying to think
Mhm.
about, you're trying to operate in the physical world, and the next step you're trying to get to, it takes more, that it's beyond, the vibration is beyond this physical world,
Mhm.
right? You have to be at another vibration, and then you bring it down and translate it into this world. And that's the difference. We try to operate in our mind, and in 3D mind, and no. That's the word thing. And I still be trying to do it. It's just like, why am I doing this? Why? It doesn't matter.
Yes.
So it's a constant process of remembering, like, okay, all right, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm trusting that it's going to show up as it needs to. Um, and always be curious. I always say, view things
Mhm.
through the lens of curiosity. So if you're not sure, if something feels, it's like, okay, well, why am I not feeling sure? Why am I feeling fear right now? Like, what's coming up? What's going on with this fear? Put a magnifying glass on it. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Any other questions or comments before we conclude?
Um, no, I'm good. Yeah,
Awesome.
you've answered them all.
Well, I look forward to just you continuing, like, just your experiences after you decide to say yes, and you take those steps forward, and kind of seeing what happens for you between now and the remainder of this challenge. Is going to take us right into spring, right? Looking forward to that,
Yeah.
and just kind of seeing that growth for you. So really excited.
So am I. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. All right. Awesome. So let me catch up in the comments. So let me know if you got some aha moments, if you got some nuggets, if you got some information, um, some words of wisdom, some things that benefit you through my conversation with Wanda. Let me know. Let me see. Let me come up. Thank you. Oh wait, let me catch up. Hey, Sky Fearless. Good stuff. I know it's the worst in Texas. However, Louisiana was greatly affected. Low water pressure and boil water only. Oh, wow. Can't take a shower or wash dishes. Dang. Well, sending good vibes. Sending the vibes to Louisiana. My goodness. Oh, it cut off your comment. I pulled Six of Swords, reversed. I am still in process of letting go and learning the life lessons I haven't learned or acknowledged yet. Worry and fear keep me from moving forward. Okay. So that last tail end of what I was saying about like put a magnifying glass on what are you worried about? What are you fearful of? Start to explore what that is. Hey MC, how are you? Can we get a video on tapping? Yes, I can do a video on tapping. I used to shuffle my cards like how you shuffle dominoes, and I didn't know why. That's a great way to shuffle. You know, just go with what feels good for you. You do that to new decks. Yeah, sometimes you get, and you know, sometimes you might have certain decks where you want to shuffle them certain ways. Certain decks you might not want to shuffle at all. And I've had that experience where like I have a new, I have a deck and I'm like, I want to go through each card individually. Other decks I want to just shuffle right away. So allow you, and because each deck has a different energy. So something to keep in mind. Yes, I will never have the answers. I'm telling you, when you are confident in that process of just knowing, like I'm never going to have the answers. Like you're not going to know everything. And do you even want to know everything? I don't want to know everything. I want to stay in my damn lane. Me stay in my lane, in whatever lane spirit got me in. Let me just stay there. I learned from writing and writing a letter to my mom. I can speak up for myself and the world will not explode. Yes. I won't stop loving me or won't be mad at me because my feelings go against what she expects. Exactly. That is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. She won't stop loving me or won't be mad at me because my feelings go against what she expects. That is so powerful. How often are you allowing, other people's expectations of you to hold you back from being who you are, from stepping into your true power, from stepping into your authentic self? I know I've done that. I have been that person. That has been me. Okay. For sure. And that's a whole shadow work right there. And if you aren't aware, yesterday I published a video here on YouTube and on my podcast. So it's a video podcast and there's an audio version with my first guest, Coach Mayette, and we are talking about healing through shadow work. So definitely check that out if you have not done so already. Let me see. It's really good too. If you're into shadow work or curious about it, that would be a good video for you to watch, especially if you are kind of on the fence about how to navigate shadow work. So something to keep in mind. Today I pulled the Page of Swords. Awesome. And what are your thoughts on the Page of Swords for today? What is your interpretation of that, Scarlett? So good. I can relate. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I want to pull a card for the collective today. And then I'm going to conclude. And tomorrow, I'm sending out the final, for those of you that have been getting the emails, I was sending out a daily email with the prompt. Tomorrow will be the last day I do that. I mentioned that in the email I sent today announcing the live stream, and that will be tomorrow as well. Just because most people don't check their emails, and it's just easier for people to just come to my channel and go to the playlist. So that's why I'm going to stop sending the daily email prompts, the daily email with the prompts. But any other tarot related things that I do, you'll get like a general notification for that through the email. Really good episode. I loved it. I'm so glad. Thank you for watching that episode. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more interviews and adding in this video podcasting aspect of adding more video stuff. All right, so I'm going to do a tarot card and an oracle card. Oh, we got 2 cards for the collective here. Okay. We have the World and we have Ace of Wands. Now, how does this apply to being fully present? How does this apply to our theme? Even the message, I feel like this more so goes with, the message, the things that have been showing up while talking with Wanda actually is about when you start to take action, right? Because Wands, this is action right here. This is the what are you doing? What are you doing? What is it that what is spirit? What is spirit? What is your intuition guiding you to do? Tune into that right now. Tune into that right now. Like, what is the thing? What is the feeling? What have you been holding back on taking action with? What decisions are you avoiding making? Because now it's time. It's time to make the decision. Why? Because it's time for you to level up. It is time for you to go through, for those of you that were in the mentorship program, you already know we've gone through the major arcana. Think about the Fool's Journey. What does the world represent? Because what happens once you get through the world, once you get to the World card, what happens? It's time to return back. It's time for the next level, the next journey. It's time to be the Fool again. The Fool is not a bad thing. But you are blocking your blessings, you're blocking your abundance, you're blocking yourself from moving forward, from expanding. Because you need action. So how can you reach the next stage of your life? How can you reach that next level? How can you create change if you don't decide to create change? If you don't decide to step into it? Make the decision so you can close this chapter of your life and open up the next chapter. If you don't like where you're at in your life, if you want something more, you can always desire something more. You desire new experience. You can want new things, but what are you willing to do to get there? Who are you being now? You can't be who you are right now in the future. You have to change. Think about who you were last year. What changes did you have to make to get to where you are right now? And if you have not made any changes, then look at your life. Is it exactly the same? That's what's showing up here. And let me pull an oracle card. I'm still working with nature, the Nature Speak Oracle. And let me know if this message is resonating with you. Oh, that just kind of popped out. Okay, bring to fruition. And it's telling me to read the book. Y'all remember what happened the last time I used this deck? Do y'all remember? Bring to fruition. Let me find this. It says, summer has its own unique qualities, and as it comes upon us, so will new opportunities. Now, wasn't I just saying this? This is let me tell you. Seeds come to fruition in the summer, ripening for the yearly harvest that will come again in the fall. Your efforts, this is effort, okay? Your efforts since the previous autumn are about to be fulfilled and consummated. Take the time to enjoy and savor them. Now is the time to focus on the best way to help things grow and become stronger. Your work, your life, your relationships are reaching a new maturity. Now, it's all about the effort you put in. Whatever effort or lack thereof that you put in last month, last year, that's showing up now. So things might be seeming a little messy right now, right? You have the power to change that. So the effort that you're putting in now during this challenge, the effort that you're using, right? The awareness that's showing up for you in this challenge, how are you going to use that? And think about what that's going to bring for you in the summer. The reason why I started this challenge on the 3rd of February is to take us right into spring. So think about the work, the effort that you're putting in now. Think about what you will be able to reap. Think about what will come to fruition for you come the summertime. Think about it. Something to be mindful of. That is your collective message. That is your collective message. I feel like that is why repressed feelings have been coming up with little to no effort. I intuitively felt like I need to drop some heavy weight from my heart because it is time to ascend to the next level. Yes, absolutely. And trust, I'm going through it too. Okay, I am going through it. And you got to say, yeah, you got to work through it. Work through the fear. Work through the fear. It is essential. It is necessary. It is required. Yes, I'm feeling that new maturity. Yes, it's time to step up. I'm telling you, Spirit been telling me, like, listen, you gotta, like, you don't have you have a whole new, like, I have a whole new, like, life. My life purpose has leveled up. Like, that, it's a whole thing. That's again, that's a whole other video, a whole other conversation. It's a whole thing. I'm just like, okay, like the way what I thought I was like, my life purpose has expanded, has shifted. So yeah, listen, I'm going through it too. Page of Swords, I'm meeting my current challenges with the same process I used in the past, but it's not working. I need to accept that just because it worked one time, that doesn't mean it will always work. Exactly. It goes right back. That ties right into the collective message for today, Scarlett, when it comes to, yeah, what you were doing before. Yeah, it's not going to work. This is why connecting to your intuition, connecting to spirit, dive into that today. Use this weekend to do this. And tomorrow, that video will be ready by 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, Central Time. So you'll get that prompt. We're going to wrap up this theme of being fully present. Look at all the cards. Look at everything that you pulled this week. Look at that this weekend, if you have the chance to, or whenever you have the chance to, and see the spectrum of what is showing up for you. We can't live in the past. We can't work with what's in the past. You use the past as information, but now it's when you are fully present in the now, and you use that to manifest what those next steps can be. That's where the power is. That's where you start to build the momentum. So that is it for today. Be sure to check out my latest podcast episode. It is here on the YouTube channel, and I'm going to start creating a playlist when I do the video options of that. The name of my podcast is Fit Body, Fit Spirit, and the most recent episode is Healing Through Shadow Work. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe. I'm so close to 300 subscribers, and my goal is to get to 300 by the end of February. I'm almost there. Trying to build this channel strong and, slow and steady. So if you have not subscribed already, be sure to do that. And like this video if you liked it. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you post #replay. Other than that, you can connect with me on Instagram. And you can also connect with me on my website, wadjet.com. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. You can post those in the comments. And I will see you all for tomorrow's video. And I'll be here again next Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central for another tarot chat. But also stay tuned for upcoming videos here on the channel as well. It has been a pleasure, y'all. And yes, $2.95. I'm so close. So this is like, if you haven't subscribed. I'm trying to stay consistent here with this channel. So really looking forward to growing with you all. I appreciate the time that you have spent with me today, and I'll see you on the next one.